Hey y'all, what's up? So, this is going to be my first official YouTube project, and I hope it turns out well. We're going to see what happens when it comes to downloading and uploading. So, if you're seeing this, that means it went well. But, so what inspired this project is one of my friends, Destiny, always sends me these beautiful quotes, and it's from the Finch Pet app. Like, for instance, it says, sometimes you climb out of bed in the morning and you think, I'm not going to make it, but you laugh instead, remembering all the times you felt that way. Charles Bukowski. And one of my memories popped up recently, and it was a beautiful quote by W.E.B. Du Bois. And that quote, which I'll post later in this video, said, one thing alone I charge you. As you live, believe in life. Always human beings will live and progress to greater, broader, and fuller life. The only possible death is to lose belief in truth, simply because the great end comes slowly, because time is long. So that's W.E.B. Du Bois, and that was his last statement to the world, 1963. And so I just wanted to make this video because I love traveling, I love putting people on, and I wanted you all to see what inspired one of my biggest transformations in life, which was studying abroad in Ghana. There's so many things I can say about it. I loved being abroad with Black scholars in the classroom, whether it was math or computer science. I was just surrounded by other Black scholars, and it was so inspiring. The food, the culture, the great people. I met so many friends along the way. So I'm excited to just show you all and really let you get to see my perspective. I am a huge picture taker. There's going to be so many pictures on all these slides. I hope you enjoy them. And without further ado, I'm gonna go on to the next slide. And welcome to Ghana, or Akwaba, as they say. Welcome. So I apologize if the slides are a little hectic, but I want to get through all of this without making this video too long. So I studied abroad with this amazing group of people, and they helped make my experience so wonderful, so I definitely have to put them in there. I studied abroad at the University of Ghana, which was one of the best universities on the continent of Africa, and I loved it so much. From the structure, the architecture was amazing. It made you feel like you were walking around such regal places all of the time, and that's why I wanted to include that. These were great people that I met. As you can see, the Wakanda signs, very popular at the time. And I just, such glowing compliments for the university, for the campus itself. I recommend absolutely studying abroad there. You will find anything that you want to study there, from computer science to dance and theater. And you can't go wrong, including the Business Academy. I heard lots of great things about that. So along with there being so much to do on campus, there was so much to do off campus, which was so impressive. One of the first trips that we took was to Kwame Nkrumah's Memorial Park and Mausoleum in Accra, and it's the final resting place for Ghana's first president. It's really important because it gives visitors, and this is coming from the website, an in-depth history of the sub-Saharan struggle for independence. Just going in there was such a wonderful and beautiful experience. It's probably one of my top places to visit, just because, this man did so much for the country as a politician, as a historical figure, and to have him validated and have his struggles and have the whole country's struggles, displayed. And not only that, but I just felt like Ghana had such a beautiful way of commemorating people and making beauty out of what other people could see as tragedy. And so this mausoleum actually is meant to represent an upside down sword, which in the Akan culture is a symbol of peace. And the mausoleum is clad from top to bottom with Italian marble, with a black star at its apex to symbolize unity. And so it was just beautiful. It says the interior has marble flooring and a marble grave marker surrounded by river-washed rocks. And just a quote from Kwame Nkrumah says, "I'm not African because I was born in Africa, but because Africa was born in me." And there's so many, I would love to show you guys more pictures, more videos, but I wouldn't want to get kind of redundant in the things I'm showing you. You can also, look up gorgeous views of the fountains and of the statues. And I might even make a Ghana Part 2 video just to put in all of the different things that I didn't put. But the mausoleum is surrounded by water, and it's to symbolize life. And so its presence conveys a sense of immortality for the name Nkrumah. And so it shows that even in death, he lives on in the hearts and minds of generations here and generations yet to come. But yeah, it's just beautiful the way that they commemorated their first president. And it's just amazing. I remember reading a book called My First Coup d'etat. And if you want to hear more about, some of the more active roles that people played in, this political time, that would be a good book to check out. So we'll keep moving on. But, two things I want to note on this slide. This kente cloth was one of the things I loved the most. It's that there were always people in the dorms that we stayed at that were offering to make custom-made clothing out of gorgeous prints that you knew nobody else was going to be wearing. And I definitely took them up after a while and got a gorgeous skirt made for myself, which I will show you on the other slides. And the other thing on the bottom right of the slide that nobody can probably read is when we got there for orientation, they gave us these crazy statistics that there were statements that people agree about or disagree about based on gender norms. And it says women and men are not equal, men are superior to women. And 69% of people agreed. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like what am I stepping into? And actually I didn't really experience a lot of sexist behavior. Yeah, I would say there's a lot of differences in cultures where they, pronounce the difference between men and women more. And that was a culture similar to that, where yes, women are liberated, but women are also women. Like they are, I don't want to say the wrong words, but it was definitely a noticeable difference. Like men were trying to be gentlemen and, everybody felt like they had their own roles, and it wasn't bad or negative. It was just a difference. And so I would say that was my biggest the thing that misled me the most and made me nervous or anticipate, sexist behavior and stuff like that. But everybody that I met was so amazing, so nice, so wonderful that, I wouldn't even say anybody I met was sexist. So that's that for this slide, and I'm going to keep going. So this was the first major trip that we took to the northern region. And this was great because we went to Kumasi, which is where a lot of these gorgeous kente cloth fabrics are, where they're made typically. And then we went to this great place. We went on a safari at Malay National Park. And just a little blurb about that is that there's over 4,500 square kilometers in savanna woodland, and it incorporates gorgeous waterways and forests, and it can be accomplished in style with the Malay Hotel and Motel offering first-class accommodation options. I really enjoyed staying there. There was a great pool. I got to lounge. They had, food. They had wine. What more can you ask for? Great views. The funniest thing is that they told us all to lock our doors, and my trip mates told me in the morning, like, oh my goodness, thank goodness we locked the doors. And I'm like, what's going on? They were like, they heard loud banging in the middle of the night, and apparently the baboons try to break in. So yeah, definitely lock your doors when you're at a huge national park. But here's some more about the blurb, that it has some great Malay and Lovi rivers passing through it, and it receives over 1,000 millimeters of rainfall a year to help sustain many diverse species of animals, including hippos, buffalo, elephants, leopards, lions, and so many plant varieties. So you can hike it, but we took a car. I don't know what you would call those, but it was amazing to go on safari. And I saw a wild elephant for the first time that day, first only time, but we got to, it was just a beautiful sight. And that's why I really had to make this video, because I had so many gorgeous and wonderful experiences, and it would be a shame not to, show that off. And so in the middle of the picture, the collage, is me doing what's called a dinkra. Like there's a dinkra symbols, and you just stamp them, and they mean different things, like come and go, or just a lot of different things. Some people know the sarcopha and stuff like that, but I definitely encourage you to look it up, and I'm gonna put the name here so that way you can check it out. So this is where I started to branch out a little more. These are my classes. I took artificial intelligence, I took traditional dance, so it was really fun because that actually opened up a lot of doors for me to meet a lot of cool people or be in a lot of situations I really wouldn't have, because I never considered myself the artsy type. So this was fun. And I joined the choir. We even sang that song, Dena Onyami Tumine. And it was really cool because I don't even know how to explain how difficult it was to, sing these lyrics in a different language. And there was different sheet music where the music was completely different. But honestly, it was so great to kind of stretch my wings into more international music as far as choirs. And that was really fun. I mean, I had toured Portugal with my school chamber choir, but it was different because, I don't know, even the math was kind of really different. They say, math is the same in every language, but trust me, there's different notations, there's different styles, there's different methods of everything. So, it was just fun to experience that. And along the lines of the arts, we went to this festival called Chalewote, and it's the annual art festival in Ghana. So that's where those really super artsy pictures are from. I definitely would recommend it. And another place we went, which is amazing, and I definitely, encourage you to go, is Labadi Beach. That's where that picture was. It's spelled Labadi. I'll put both the names on this also. And it's just great. It was, Labadi Beach has food, it has horses, it has like everything you could expect. It's got music, it's got plenty of people, and plenty of people know it. So I definitely think that it's worth the drive, especially if you go with a huge group of people, because then the, ride there is cheap. And I don't know if we paid an entrance fee, but I think I saw something online about an entrance fee. But there's food, there's drinks, there's horses. Like, what more can you want from a beach? Seriously. And I think that's that. Oh, and then my hair. This is when I started getting, braids and all that. And the best thing was that it would go really quick. They had what I wanted. They would always, so I really encourage you, if you're going abroad, like, get your hair done, like, have a good time. And, really the conversion rate did work in my favor. I won't lie. But if you see me in real life, I change out my hair a lot. So it's just, I think, part of being a little bit of a fashionista. But yeah, treat yourself. I'm going to try to read this. We went to the last bath, and that's known as the Slave River, a site that the last bath that enslaved Africans took on the continent before being stolen to the Caribbean and Americas for a lifetime of chattel slavery. It's one of the largest slave markets for gathering people to sell into slavery during the infamous transatlantic slave trade. It's especially worth seeing as a prelude to viewing Cape Coast Slave Castle, since you'll be following the route taken by the ancestors of many African Americans. And this served as a place where enslaved Africans had their last bath before being marched down to the slave castles of Elmina and Cape Coast along the coast. And it's in a town of the central region located 40 kilometers along the Cape Coast Highway. It's a site where the returned remains of two diasporans, Lady Crystal from Jamaica and Carson from New York, were reburied. The Emancipation Day, people gathered together to visit the Slave River, as well as the laying of wreaths at the graves of the returnees, and that's held annually on August 1st to commemorate the climax of the celebrations. There's also a memorial wall of return, and that's where most Africans write their names on the wall, including myself. Thank goodness I've been able to do that, indicating that they found their route. And so captured Africans were forced to trek barefoot through harsh bush and over rough terrain for sometimes hundreds of miles headed to the Gold Coast dungeon. They suffered abuse, were starved and beaten into compliance by the hired drivers of the slave merchants. They were often attacked by wild animals, but unable to fight or run away because they remained shackled and chained. Many lives and spirits were lost along the hazardous journey. When they arrived there, after being bathed, they were well fed and rested for several or so days, and the merchants did this because they knew they could guarantee higher prices if they appeared healthy and strong. So where the captives would take their last baths in the water of their native land. So the Portuguese began the inhumane practice of branding, and that would show ownership. And when it was time to leave, this is something I didn't know. They were sorted, leaving the weak ones behind, chained to trees, where the unthinkable happened. The stronger captives continued walking for approximately 40 miles to Cape Coast Castle. 40 miles might mean kilometers, but still shackled and chained. And, this was just definitely very, very sad to see, sad to read, but it had to be talked about. There was so much that happened to, these people that weren't even documented, that we're not privy to. I remember, you should go, and if you do go, they'll show you a documentary talking about what, people suffered through, and this is very candid, very raw. It's not, what people are used to in the U.S. of the watered down what happened. They would show people breaking slaves' teeth because, I don't want to say slaves, enslaved people's teeth, because they didn't want to eat. They were trying to force suicide, and they would just chain them, break their teeth, shove the food down the mouth. And it was the most horrific thing I had seen. So as much as people want to shy away or that they don't want to talk about this, it's important to learn about it.